minutes straight, all I could do was stand in my studio, and every time I saw something, I'd scream, "What the fuck?" That, yeah, I mean, he tore the insulation out of the walls. This cat is insane. Okay, so maybe I should, like, tell the stray serial killer kitty John Wayne Gacy story. So, I moved with my dog and my brother and whoever else came along into a little cabin in the piney woods of northeast Texas. And when we moved out there, we didn't have water, electric, nothing. It was just basically an overgrown 5.5 acres of land, right? So there's nothing out there. It's really dark. And slowly we got the power, and then we got a well, and, you know, I got the little cabin, and, you know, slowly we just kind of did this. And one night, it was winter, and it was really cold. Well, cold for Texas. My cabin has a little porch on the front, and it was probably about 2 in the morning, and Trots, his ears go up, and he's got some serious ears. I'll show you a picture. But he's got some really huge ears. So his ears goes up, and he looks out the door, and I know there's something not good. It's not good. But, you know, we live in the woods. There's animals. There's woodland creatures. So I ease up, and I turn out all the cabin lights, and the noise comes. It's louder. Whatever it is, it's knocking on my door. And I'm like, oh my goodness. It's not like a people knock. It's like a... And then it was like... And then before you know it, like half the cabin is shaking. That's an exaggeration. The cat wasn't making the cabin shake. So anyway, so the whole cabin is shaking, and I'm terrified, right? So, and the dog, you know, the dog is terrified. We're all terrified. So I get my gun, because, you know, we live in Texas, we all have guns. So I get my gun, and I ease up to the door, and I peer over, and there's these demon eyes staring back at me. I tell you what, I almost shot right through the door, but then I thought, maybe I shouldn't do that, because what if I shoot it and it doesn't die, right? You don't want that to happen. So I turned on the porch light, and I saw it, and it was this, it looked like a cat, but I'm pretty sure it was a demon. And now that I know it, it was a demon, right? So he's got his fangs shown, and he's looking up at me through the window, looking right at me, right? I was terrified. So I turn out all the lights, and I hid under the blanket until the next day, because I'm not letting that thing in my house. Do not invite evil into your house. I saw that on a movie. Important note, right? I know. So that's how stray serial killer kitty John Wayne Gacy, sir, wound up at our house. And that was like 5 or 6 years ago. And he just stayed. Just stayed. And has been causing me problems. Anyway, so he was stray kitty. And then he became stray serial killer kitty John Wayne Gacy, sir. Well, yeah, because he kills things. You know, he's a cat, little murder mittens and stuff. But yeah, he's a cat. Well, he's a tomcat. He big boy. So he's doing all this like big boy demon cat stuff. And I watch him. He looked like a lion walking across the tundras of Africa or whatever lions in Africa do. And he's dragging this long snake behind him. And he's got its head in its mouth. And the body is like dragging behind him between his legs. And he's walking all proud across the yard, like coming right at me with this dead thing. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't. Because what if it's not dead? He's walking right towards me, and I scramble up off the porch. I run inside. I slam the door shut. I lock it. I grab my gun. I'm waiting, because, I mean, he could come right through the door, right? You know, he's a demon and all. I'm not going to risk it. So, yeah. He keeps going, and he goes right under the cabin. And I come out with my gun and I'm looking under there and I'm like, "Stray kitty, what are you doing?" And he doesn't answer me. And I hear movement and then more movement. And then I look under there. And do you know what that demon's doing? He's burying his prey underneath my cabin. He's burying it under my house. And that's how he got his name. Stray serial killer, Kitty John Wayne Gacy, sir.